This time last year, believe it or not, I was questioning everything. Okay. I was trying to decide which way I was going to go with my social media platforms, if I was going to go all in on YouTube. Did I want to switch gears? Was YouTube really the route, that I wanted to take because it was such a slow boat to my destination? It's been an emotional roller coaster, just ups and downs, twists and turns, unexpected events, a lot of things going on, right, in both my personal and professional life. And, I just wasn't sure. Was I going to make a different pivot? Was I going to switch gears? Did I want to just go all in and focus on YouTube to make this work, to actually prove to myself that I can do this, right? And so there, YouTube and I have like this love-hate relationship, but it keeps calling my name and it keeps me coming back. And so today I am happy to say and super excited and even dressed for the occasion. Okay, a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of glitter, a little bit of shimmer here, because I wanted to appear as though, I wanted to give that kind of confetti feel, because today I am happy to announce that I am celebrating you, 1,000 souls who said yes to joining me on this journey. And I want to thank you for that. And I also want to say how amazing I feel. Not only the fact that we hit 1K, okay, 1K strong, by the way, okay, and we're just getting started. All right, I want to add that into, but also it feels so amazing to have grown my YouTube channel without selling my soul and without burning out. Okay, that is a huge feat, because there are so many people, unfortunately, women that I speak with, I work with all the time. I'm in the same circles as a lot of these women and YouTubers that you guys, whose name you know, okay? And I just want you to know there are a lot of us out here who, I wouldn't say who did it without burning out, more so that actually did it burning out, right? It wasn't just like this seamless transition from 0 to 1,000 or more subscribers, especially as a business owner. And so I want to really get into this conversation today in this video because, here I am at 1K subs later, right? And I want to talk to you about what my wins have been. Well, this is a big win. And I actually did a video where I talked about, kind of halfway to the 1K mark when I got 500 subs. So if you want to check out that video, you can too. But I want to share more now that I'm actually here. Like, we made it. Okay, we actually arrived. And let me just say, I want to talk to you about what I've learned and what's coming next for me in my business in this journey of YouTube universe, right? But also, I want to talk to you about what I do differently. I wouldn't say I have any regrets, because I absolutely don't live with any regrets, okay? But I do have some very valuable lessons that I want to share with you today. And if you want my full story on what this journey has been like for me, because I've been on and off YouTube for the last 9 years, yes, which is the same amount of time I've been running my online coaching and consulting firm, then you would want to check out the video titled, "I've been posting for 9 years and still not monetized on YouTube." And by the way, I have reached 1,000 subscribers, and but I've not yet reached that 4,000 watch hours. Okay, so that is the next milestone that we need to reach. So having said all that, and before we really dive all the way deeply into the conversation, let me quickly introduce myself for those of you who may be new here. But whether you're new to me or true to me, welcome or welcome back. I appreciate you being here. Katrina Marie here, also known as the Boss Chick Biz Coach, and of course your fearless leader and your biz bestie girl, okay? I am a holistic business coach and an RN health and wellness educator, and I teach high achieving women entrepreneurs and successful corporate women professionals in the corporate environment who want to transition out how to build an aligned and profitable online brand and business without sacrificing their soul and sanity or compromising their health and happiness. So everything on this channel that we talk about has everything to do with prioritizing your health, your healing, and your happiness on your way to the dream, okay? And as you are in this journey, and I meet you where you are in that. And so let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? All right. Let me first start by saying what really inspired me to start a YouTube channel from the beginning, and then why I resumed. Okay, because like I said, I've been off and on this channel, this platform, I should say, for the last 9 years. Okay. And I do want to emphasize that because I know in my video where I talked about, the video I just mentioned shortly ago, some of the comments were, people thought that I was just consecutively on YouTube for 9 years, and then I haven't yet hit this milestone of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And that's not the case. And I feel like I clarified that in the video, but I can't recall now. It's been a few months ago, but I digress. What I want to say, and the reason why I'm even bringing that up, is to say that it's important to know that I have been off and on, because I'm going to talk shortly here about, some of the lessons I've learned. And that's kind of going to be the segue leading into that conversation. So I'm alluding to it now, but I'm going to get into it a little bit later. Okay. So let me start by saying the reason why I even started a YouTube channel is because in 2016, I decided I was going to start an online business because I was put into this very ridiculous predicament, okay, in my corporate career. And I got tired of waiting for people to give me an opportunity that I could just create myself. Okay, so that is the very, very, very short story of it. Okay, I talk a lot about it in depth on this channel. So if you've not heard my story before, you can always go back and check that out in other channels, or excuse me, other videos, but that's not what this video is about. But I wanted to help. I'm on this mission to just help as many women as I possibly can, high achieving women, women over 40, and those in marginalized groups, LGBTQ plus women, women of color, women over 40, women collectively, right? I want to help us to, again, build aligned and profitable online brands and businesses, specifically service providers, okay? And when I started out, I didn't want to do any coaching. I wasn't really so much in the online space. I started off this journey being a mobile consultant, if you can believe it. I had this whole idea around, coaching and why I didn't want to be a coach. Okay. And I also wanted to really just empower women to utilize business ownership as a vehicle. There are many vehicles that can help us get rich, help us get wealthy, but I wanted to focus on having a rich and wealthy lifestyle just as much as we have a rich and wealthy heart-centered focus on what it is we want to do and a mindset that matched. Okay. I wanted everything to be in alignment. Now, so I've always integrated, talking about holistic success, right? Holistic health and happiness, and how health and wealth correlates with one another since the beginning of time. But in the beginning, I considered myself to just be a career transition coach and startup business expert because that's as much as I knew. And even before then, I was out really doing more like speaking engagements and just getting out there and doing a lot of speaking events and networking and, building relationships and talking to women about how they can utilize business ownership, again, as a vehicle to get them from where they were at the time to where it is they ultimately wanted to be, right? So to their ultimate destination, so that they could change the economic status and the trajectory of their lives and that of their bloodlines. And so you can do that through a number of ways. You could do that through stocks, right? You could do that through investing in real estate. You can do that in starting your own business and growing your business and your empire, or as I like to call it, your dreampire. Okay. So that's where it all really began. And I wanted to have YouTube as a way to just use that as my speaking platform to get my message out there to more people. But I didn't really know how YouTube worked. Okay. Not really. And I was also on all of the other social media platforms at the time. And I was running an entire business, right? Creating content. At the time, we didn't have a full staff. In fact, I don't think in the very beginning, for the first 2 years, I hadn't even hired my first VA or virtual assistant, okay? Until 2 or so years later, right around that 2-year mark. So it was me and at the time, my life and business partner who co-founded this business with me. And it was a lot. And we ourselves were still in the corporate arena. Okay. So just to give you a little bit of background and context around all of that. So I decided it was just too much, really trying to focus on both YouTube, all the other social media platforms, and all the aspects of growing a company, right? And the steep learning curve of going through, this process of learning everything online. And at the time, Facebook was really my jam, right? I was running ads there. I was building relationships there. I was out and about doing networking functions and social events. I was writing a best-selling book. You know what I mean? I was celebrating all the things. I was in a full-time relationship, a marriage. I mean, it was a lot going on. Okay. So I just didn't have time to dedicate the kind of time that needs to be dedicated and put forth the energy and the efforts that are required in the sweat equity and fully building my YouTube channel. But I knew it was a great platform because I had been taught by some of the greatest about YouTube. But it really is something you have to dedicate yourself to. You have to be willing to commit, right? And that's why now I believe how important it is for you to just start with like one, maybe two at most platforms that you can go all in, okay? Because trying to do it all is too much. So that's that's why I started. But then I resumed that was back in 2016. So I resumed in trying to think of the very latest time. Last year, 2024. And this is when I was fully staffed. We had I say fully staffed, but we had a smaller team than I was used to. But I was growing my team at the time. And so I had people who was dedicated to helping me make this work. But I wasn't really seeing the results in the return on investment that we were putting in, right? And at the time I was editing videos and I was doing all the things that was required of me for this to work for me on this channel. And it wasn't working. Okay. Low views, very little growth in subscribers. And at the time that I resumed, I had around, I want to say 385-ish, maybe, give or take, subscribers. And then I did when I reached 500, of course, I celebrated that because I wanted people to realize that it was about, this is a marathon, not a sprint, right? So it's about the journey that we're on. And I wanted people to know, you, especially who's listening to me right now, tuned in to this video in particularly, that it's all about celebrating the milestones, right? Those incremental wins for the actions you're taking every single day. And so it was important that, I did that video for myself, right? But also for you so that you can kind of think about how critical it is to celebrate even the smallest of wins. And while everybody's sort of on the YouTube channel, YouTube platform anyways, everybody's trying to reach that 1,000 or 1K mark and 4,000 watch hours to be monetized. There are other ways to monetize, thank God, okay? Because if I was waiting 9 years to be monetized, honey, I'd be broke, okay? But it's really especially important for you emotionally, right? To pat yourself on the back, to give yourself a hug, to show yourself some love, just because you did the damn thing. You made it to the halfway mark, right? So it doesn't matter if you are starting off at 0 and you have 20 subscribers or 111 subscribers or 233 subscribers, 500, 1,000, 10,000, wherever you are in the journey, it's enough for you to celebrate. Whatever your ultimate goal is, whatever your objective is for being on this platform, every step you take towards that is worth celebrating. So that's why I did that video, because it's important for you to understand that and to remember that, and to also stay rooted and connected in your why, because there's going to be some very tough times, right? Unforeseen circumstances, different things that come up that you're not prepared for. And when that happens, you have to have a why that keeps pulling you forward. So that's the truth about really, when I resumed, why I resumed was to help more people, and because I was so connected to my why. And also because there is something to be said about being consistent, right? But the thing is, there are a lot of people here who are on this journey as content creators. And that's great. That's a beautiful thing, because sometimes that's That's all people want. Some people want to be, and kudos to you. Okay. I don't downplay that. It's a lot of work to create content, but it's especially a lot more work when you are a busy businesswoman, right? A business owner, particularly women, since that's who I exclusively cater to. And we are running our businesses, right? We are shouldering the responsibilities of our households. Some of you, you might be one person who also is working in the corporate environment. Maybe you're still at your 9 to 5, have a very demanding corporate career like I once did. Maybe you even have some side gigs or side hustles, right? And you're just trying to like juggle all of these different varying like aspects of life and business and work and family. And, you know, maybe you're even neglecting your own needs, right? Your health, your happiness, you know, like you're just in it, grinding away. And then you crash and you burn and you do it all over again and again and again. And you're on this maddening cycle and you got that on repeat, right? And it's just like, okay, something's got to give. Well, I decided that I decided some time ago that I am unsubscribed from the hustle culture. Okay. And I'm no longer doing my business that way. I want everything that I do to feel in alignment. I want it to feel good to me. I want my core values to drive my behaviors, my decisions, my actions. I want everything that I believe in, the philosophies that I live by, I want it to lead by example. I want it to be a model for women like you who look up to me, right? And who wanted to live this kind of lifestyle of being free from burnout and realizing that you can embrace ease. And at this big old age, honey, when we get to the over 40 mark, 50s, 60s and beyond, we don't want to work hard and hustle hard, right? We get tired of wearing that S on our chest and that, you know, hardworking woman like a badge of honor. Like we're over it. We did that in our younger years, in our 20s and even in our 30s, you know, and at this age and at this stage and phase of our lives and business and careers, nobody got time for that. You know, we're tired. We don't want to keep being burnt out. That's not a badge of honor. And that's not a strategy either, right? Healing is the new strategy. Okay. So I just continued on this mission. I continued to stay rooted and grounded in my why. And then I want to talk about really just in short, what changed since for me is that, you know, I've always had a high level of confidence because it's naturally who I am, you know, and it's a muscle too that you have to build, right, to get confident. Because I can look back on some of my videos and I wasn't as confident as I am today. In fact, some of those videos are a bit cringy, right? Okay. And that's always going to be true when we first start out, right? And we are trying to figure things out. But I've gained a higher level of confidence, right? I've gained so much clarity. I've become more of a, you know, catalyst for change and more of a transformational speaker and an influential leader. And I have so much more clarity and I've gained more clients and I have a community that I'm building here, right? That's tuned in and tapped into and holding on to my every word. I have really beautiful connections that and collaborations that I've done. So it's been amazing. Okay. Nothing short of amazing. And I want that for you too. So a few juicy YouTube lessons. Okay. What have I learned? What's worked well? What didn't work so well at all? Let's go ahead and get into that piece of it, because that's something that I spoke to earlier briefly and said I would get into it a little bit deeper in this video. So let's go ahead and knock that out real quick. Okay. Because again, in my other video, I talk more about that, but I still wanted to, now that I'm here, because again, I was at like 385 subs and now I'm at 1K. So I want to talk about what I've learned since that video. The first thing I want to say, and I also said this just a bit ago, and that is staying the course, right? Staying the course, because what I can tell you for sure is that if you give up, what is guaranteed to happen is that you are never going to see what's on the other side of that door when you open it, right? Because you are literally that much closer to your dream if you keep going. But if you stop, if you give up, if you turn around and go back to where you came from, if you just say, oh, to hell with this, I'm not doing this, this is too hard, you're not going to ever make it to your destination, right? Or your destiny for that matter, if this is what you really want. So keep going. Reach the finish line. You don't have it to prove to anybody else but yourself. So prove it to you that you can do this, that you are worthy of this, and that you absolutely can have whatever you envision for yourself, whatever life you want to live, whatever your dreams and goals and aspirations are. You are deserving of everything you dream of, desire, and deserve, but you've got to be disciplined, deliberate, and determined to achieve that. Okay? Even when it feels hard, you've got to exercise that muscle because, you know, we all know what it feels like to want a six pack, but to actually do the work to get it, that's a different story, right? See, and that's the problem here is that so many people want the results. They desire those results so badly. They can taste it. They can smell it. They can feel how tangible it is. They can see it, right? And they can even put themselves there into their near and far future. But then life happens and then doubt and fear creep in and all of these negative thoughts, right? And then you give up. You give in. And I don't want that for you. I want to see you win, and you can succeed, but you got to keep going. Stay the course. Hit those mile markers, right? Those milestones. Celebrate along the journey. Embrace the journey. Trust the process. Pray through the process and know that you will get there eventually when it's your time, with the understanding that our deadline does not match God's timeline. Okay? Remember that. So the next thing is focusing on providing value, not so much on the subs and the views. Okay? So if you're a new YouTuber here or just a small channel and you've been in this journey for a while and you're not growing, you're kind of, you know, a lot of what I'm saying is resonating with you, let me know right now. Drop me a comment and let me know what's you know, a aha moment for you and what's pulling on those heartstrings and what you can relate to so far. I would love to continue this dialogue with you beyond this video. So definitely drop me some comments below. But focus on providing value. And, you know, even if you're getting 10 views, 30 views, 100 views, a few hundred views, imagine that being the number of people who are standing in front of you. The number of people that if you said, you know, I'm starting this community, I'm building out this membership, I am inviting you to an intimate session with me, I'm going to be doing this training or a webinar or what have you, and that many people showed up in person or, you know, virtually, face to face, wouldn't that make you excited that many people want to hear what you got to say? They want to listen to you. They trust you. They like you. They want to be in your presence. Or would you just say, whatever, that's just 10 people. That's just 20 something people. That's just 55 people. No, because those are real human beings with human feelings, right? And they obviously think enough of you to show up for you. So be grateful for that. And that's the other thing. Maintain an attitude of gratitude. That's one of my core beliefs, my core values, right? And I don't deviate from any of my core values ever. So maintain an attitude of gratitude and be thankful for what you already have in order to open up the door for more opportunities of what it is you want. Okay? That's what I really wanted to say about that. So yeah, focus on the value that you're delivering just for those few people who need to hear what you have to say. because you're not here to be serving everybody, and you're not for everybody, and everybody's not going to tune in and listen to you. You're for a select group of people, right? Your tribe and your peeps is your tribe and your peeps. That will differ from mine. Mine will differ from the next 10, 20, 50 other women. There may be some crossover in our communities and our audiences and our viewership, but only we, only you, only I can deliver the message in a way that we deliver it, right? Only we can show up with what it is that makes us special and unique. Your unique service or your unique value proposition. What makes you a unicorn? What makes you different from everybody else out here? That's what you need to focus on, and adding value. Okay? If you add value, the subs will come, the numbers will follow, more people will view. Okay? More people will watch you, more people will tune in, more people will share your content out. So just focus on those few individuals who keep showing up for you. And invest in yourself. If you really want to go further, faster, get help. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. No shame in your game, no shame in my game to go get the help you need in an area that you want to succeed in, but you're not great at. It's not your zone of genius. That's why there are people out there who teach what we need to learn. Okay? So get the help you need in order to succeed. Also, believing that if others can do it, I could too. That's a given, right? It's already been proven time and time again. So just like I know, and this was one of my lessons, that I had to kind of do this a lot of times, right? Kind of put my blinders on, keep my head down, stay focused. That didn't mean that I didn't check out other people. I didn't watch other channels, and I didn't, clap for them and applaud them and kudos to them and all of that and cheer them on and collaborate with some of them as well. Even those who might be seen as my competitor, I believe in building relationships, even with those individuals. Competitors can be collaborators too, because there's always something that they have that might complement my services, and I have something that I can share with their audience that will be of value that they don't necessarily teach in the way that I teach it, right? And that's true for you too. But yeah, sometimes you just have to remember that if others could do it and others have done it before you, then don't get caught up in that comparison thing. You know what I mean? Don't compare yourself to other people, because it's easy to do. When you're scrolling through social, when you're scrolling through YouTube, right, and watching YouTube videos, and you realize that so many other people are having the success that you so deeply desire. Girl, I know. Trust me, I do. But at the same time, I'm doing bigger work, right? I'm on the mission for something greater. It's not just about YouTube. I'm not just trying to get monetized and get the AdSense, right? I want to make a bigger impact and a bigger income also doing what I love. So you've just got to find a way to monetize your God-given gifts, your talent, the years that you've spent in corporate America, your expertise, whatever level of expertise that is, your background, your education. Take all of that, leverage a platform like this, utilizing your skill set and your background and all of that, right? Couple those things together and then build your own thing. You don't have to wait for a handout. You don't have to depend on one entity to give you. You can give yourself. You see what I'm saying? So that's something to celebrate as well, because you got options, girl. That's what we're talking about here. Options is freedom, right? That's what I always say. Having options is freedom. So give yourself some options. There are lots of things you can do and be focused on. There are other ways you can monetize, and you don't have to wait to monetize on YouTube. So, and if you need help with that, that's what business coaches like me are here for. So reach out, tap in, learn, get the help you need for your specific situation, because everybody's situations differ, right? So focus on your channel, on your growth, on where you are in the journey, not where somebody else is, because it could be hard to see somebody else be, making it. And you're like, they ain't even trying to change lives. Okay. They're not even adding value. Okay. They're not even I mean, I'm smarter than they are. I speak more articulately than they do. I know more than they do. So what's the difference? And sometimes that can be mind-boggling, right? But sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's not about even the strategy. Sometimes it's just not yet our time. Sometimes, right? Like it's nothing we can do to really control it. We just have to keep showing up and doing our best work to the best of our ability, showing up for the right people and being consistent. Now, those are some of the things that work. And also, I'm going to leave it there. Okay. I want to get into what doesn't work. Starting and stopping like I did over the years. That was just too much start, stop cycle going on. Okay. The shenanigans of it all. But I will say, I understand it if that's your scenario right now and you're just getting back on YouTube and trying to find your groove and your flow again. It's okay. Because at least you're starting again. Now, if you can stay consistent, that's going to be key, right? Because I understand that life is the thing that happens when we're making plans, right? So I know that was my truth for me. I just had, like I said, a lot going on. And sometimes you just don't have the bandwidth, the wherewithal. You might have the grit, the determination, and all of that, but you just might not be in a good place mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, whatever. You're right. You might be really going through a tumultuous time, and you should give yourself time to rest, to breathe, to heal, and to get your mojo back eventually and find your happy place again. Okay. You want to do things without burning out. So if you need that time away, take the time away, because you're not going to be good showing up every day, serving people from a place of emptiness or sadness or loneliness or stress or overwhelm or anxiety, depression, right? A sad and somber mood, cynical mood all the time. Like, you don't want to show up as that person. You want to show up as the best version of yourself. And sometimes that requires us to take a break, right? And I've done it a time or two, and I'm happy to say that I only came back better and stronger than ever. So do that for you, boo. Okay? Seriously. Also, be consistent, yes, but I don't like the way that term is thrown around so loosely. Be consistent how? Be consistent in what? Because if you're consistent in doing the wrong things, you're not going to get very far. That's another lesson I learned. You need to be consistent with the right strategy and having the right people around you, the right support system, the right inner circle, right? So be consistent with that, and be consistent in showing up the way that you need to show up for the people who need to hear your voice and your message, your story, your testimony, your teachings, your philosophies, whatever it is that they need to hear from you. Okay. So, and if you need help discovering that and going deeper and getting, peeling back those layers to know exactly what that is for you, because you feel a little bit lost right now, again, reach out for help. Okay. And get the support that you really need. Stop asking disempowering questions as well. Okay. And what I mean by that is why? Why me? Why not me? Why not now? You know what I mean? Going back to kind of comparing yourself to other people. It will happen for you eventually if you keep going. Right? Like if you keep exercising and you keep getting out there to shed some pounds and to be healthy again and to feel that confidence again and to fit in your cute dress or bathing suit and get that bathing suit body back, or, the energy back, or whatever it is, the confidence. Listen, it will happen, but it ain't going to happen overnight, right? No more than it took for you to pack those pounds on overnight is it going to take for you to lose them overnight. So just give yourself some grace and some space to get there. You will eventually, if you keep going, right? And that's true for anything, right? If you were in school right now, maybe you're not passing all of your classes or all of your exams, but you will get there eventually. Maybe you need help, like a personal trainer for the fitness, right? Maybe you need help, like a tutor, a personal tutor to get you to help you see what you can't see. Maybe in this regard, as far as YouTube, you need a YouTube coach, right? To help you grow your channel. I've hired a YouTube coach before. Maybe you need somebody who's a business coach, right? Who's focused on the areas of life that you want to focus on. Maybe you need somebody like me who's a holistic business coach focusing on all areas that matter to you. So even the best athletes and celebrities and, household names and icons and people we know, right? CEOs of some of these big Fortune 500 companies and beyond, everybody that is successful, who is successful, has a coach, has a mentor, has consultants in their corner, right? They have people cheering them on. They have the right support system. They have a very strong support system. And that may be the missing link for you. So stop asking disempowering questions and just figure out what it is you need right now in this moment to help you. Forget about everybody else. And if it really matters to you about what everybody else is doing, reach out to people. Don't be scared, go ahead and reach out to those people. Ask them, what are you doing differently? How did you get this far? How did you, ask the questions, get into community with their community. Like I'm in community with some of the top YouTubers here, right? I'm a part of their communities. I'm mingling with their people. I'm building relationships with those folks, right? Because relationships matter. And people can share with you things that you are struggling with right now, trying to do it in silo, right? Why do it alone? Why stay on the struggle bus when you got people who are willing to help, like genuinely willing to help? Okay, enough of that. Now, I want to say this. I want to just say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for staying the course, right? Riding the waves, the up and down roller coasters. Thank you for trusting me, with the information that I'm delivering to you. Thank you for showing up for not only me, but for yourself. It really means a lot. And I'm going to continue to build a strong community here. So much so that I really want to know what you want out of this. Because this is a two-way street. I'm showing up for you. So what is it that you want more of that maybe I'm not delivering right now? I'm very open to suggestions and, criticism even. Keep it constructive, okay? I'm all about being positive over here. So positive vibes only. If you don't got nothing positive to say and you can't say it in a nice, constructive way, then just keep it moving, okay? Because we don't do negativity here. But if you got something to say and you just, or a question to ask or a comment to make or some feedback to give, I'm open. Okay. Especially, I want to thank those of you who have been my loyal fans and my loyal commenters, right? Those of you, whether you watch my long form content or my short form content or a mix of both, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do sincerely appreciate you for that. And those of you who share my content out, thank you, sis. I appreciate you. Okay. So what's coming next? What's up next? Like, what are we doing? Well, so I don't make this much longer. I'm just going to run through really quickly some next things. First of all, tap in with me in the community, right? I want to make sure, again, that I'm building a strong community. So tap in, stay tuned in, and stay in touch with me in the community post that I'm posting those at least once a week. I'm trying to get better at that. I usually do up to about 3 posts a week to kind of keep you updated on things and to keep you motivated to do some polling and that sort of thing. So, stay in touch with me there for any kind of updates and just to collaborate with me and stay connected to me. Stay in my comments too, okay, on these videos. And let me know again what topics you want to hear. Do you want to hear more about surviving toxic jobs, healing from toxic jobs, leaving corporate America, your corporate career altogether, right? Starting and growing a business in the online space, burnout recovery, mastering your mindset, leadership. Like, we talk about all of those things here. So if you want to hear more about some things that you don't feel I'm doing enough videos about that would be applicable to your situation now, let me know. Okay. Let me know. I'm still working towards those 4,000 watch hours. So I definitely want to get monetized here sooner than later. And we're well on our way. And when we get to that point, how about we do a live celebration? Okay. A live stream show when we hit that milestone. That would be fun. So I can interact with you in real time. Otherwise, let's just go ahead and hit that 2K together. That's up next. Okay. We got to celebrate on the way though. So, and if you've been watching for a while, or even if this is your first time and you're enjoying my content here so far, or peruse around and see what you like, right? And what speaks to your soul. But go ahead and subscribe right now. Hit that subscribe button, okay? And hit the notification bell as well, so you never miss a single episode whenever I drop new content and or go live. As of this recording, you will see 1 short a day and 3 videos a week, and my community posts as well, okay? So there's always something here. I speak about, like all of those subject matters that I just talked about. So there's something here for each and every person who is a high achieving woman entrepreneur, or an established successful corporate career woman looking to transition out, or sort of sandwich in between both the corporate and business world. And if you're just somebody who wants to learn more about mindset, leadership, all things business, we talk about all of that here. Okay, even manifestation. All right. So if you're a boss chick, and I know you are because that's why you're following me, you're a legacy leader, right? You are that girl. You're the it girl. So go ahead and subscribe right now. What you waiting for, girl? What are you waiting for? And let others know about me too, because the more people who hear my message and know about my channel will watch more of my content, and the algorithm will push more of my videos out to people who need to hear that, my messages. Okay. Now, I want to make sure that that's it, but this is becoming longer than I had hoped for. So, if you're still here with me, I appreciate you being here. I talk fast, but clearly, I have a lot to say because we're already like right around the 40-minute mark. So let's go ahead and pump the brakes here, land the plane here, as they say. If you want to work with me, I have a few ways that I can support you. I offer VIP days on a quarterly basis. I only take a few. Okay, only a handful of people, so I can give you my undivided attention. No more than 5, usually 3 to 5 in 1 quarter. So if you are interested in working with me on a VIP day, I am happy to help, where we're going to go really deep in helping you to get from where you are right now to where it is you want to be. Now, you can also book a clarity call with me if you want to know more about that, or other ways that you can work with me, because I also do have group coaching programs. Okay. But if you feel like you're not quite ready for that and just want a little taste of how I teach, and other things that you feel might be helpful to you, there's plenty of other resources. There are plenty of other resources in the description box, so go ahead and check those out. And in the pinned comments as well, I'll be sure to put a couple of resources there for you as well that I mentioned in this video. Okay, so that's my time. I have talked your ear off. I appreciate you staying until the end. Be sure to share this video out, okay? But I'm going to tune out while you tune in. Be sure to share this video out with at least 3 friends, right? And be sure to watch the next video that YouTube recommends. As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.